guys, and welcome back to the channel where we talk all things travel and working remotely from all over the world. In today's video, I'll be answering a few more questions, some of them related to allergies, how to eat healthy while you're on the road, and most importantly, why travel doesn't have to be expensive. I hope you'll enjoy this video. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that little subscribe button because I would love to see you back here for another video next Tuesday. Where is your favorite place to live while working? Da Nang. Definitely Da Nang. When I first went to Vietnam several years ago, before I had ever actually lived there, I hated it. Once I realized that Vietnam and Thailand have very, very different cultures, and I stopped comparing and just enjoyed Vietnam for Vietnam, it was amazing. And now Da Nang is my all-time favorite place. I've lived there 3 months this past year and 3 months the year before, and I plan to go back again next year. You have the city, you have the ocean, you have a pretty lively foreigner scene as well, good internet, decent apartments. I love Da Nang. I just love the beach. I have a whole video where I dive deeper into Da Nang and the pros and the cons of living there. And the pros definitely outweigh the cons. How do you deal with slow and erratic internet while traveling? The short answer is, I don't. I make sure before I go to a destination that if I plan on working there, I am going to have internet. And then I also come up with backup plans. The way I know if a place is going to have decent internet that I can use is I'll look on Nomad List. You can filter by countries and see which ones are considered top nomad destinations. And if it's a top nomad destination, you know that there's going to be internet. I'll also do my research within Facebook groups on Quora and on Reddit. If I figured out in the city it sounds like people have internet, I'll then go and look at the specific location that I'm staying within that city, and I'll check the surrounding area for cafes and co-working spaces that I could work from if it wasn't working from my own apartment or hotel room. I use the free app Work From, which is going to give you all of the local area co-working spaces and cafes, as well as their internet passwords and the internet strength. So I'll make sure the city has Wi-Fi generally, and that the apartment I'm staying at is going to have Wi-Fi. I'll have backups with cafes and co-working, and then I'll also get a SIM card as soon as I arrive at the airport. If you're in Southeast Asia, you can get a 4G unlimited plan onto your phone for $20 a month. Then if you end up really stuck with no Wi-Fi, you can just hotspot it to your laptop and have internet. So I have never been in a situation where I've needed to work and not been able to. What is the best place for first-time digital nomads? Ooh, you know my answer. Chiang Mai. I say Chiang Mai if you like the mountains especially, also because it's probably the best value for money location that I have ever been to, quite possibly anywhere in the world. There are plenty of foreigners, most of them working online, and then you can also find apartment rentals that are going to be fully serviced and fully furnished for leases that go from 1 to 3 months or longer if you wanted to. And while you can definitely soak up the Thai culture in Chiang Mai, you can also find any of the Western conveniences like the malls or food that you would prefer from back home. So you really can get the best of both worlds at a very affordable price. The other option would probably be Bali in Canggu or Ubud specifically. Both have a pretty lively digital nomad scene, probably the biggest in the world. I'd say that Bali, there's more women, and it definitely has that stereotype yoga, granola, spiritual vibe to it. So if you're into that, you're going to absolutely love it. You may also sway towards Canggu in Bali if you love the ocean because it's right on the coast. You can also check out Nomad List, which is going to rank cities based on internet, accommodation, weather, all the things you want to consider if you're going to plan to work and live somewhere. I want to travel, but I don't have enough money. What do I do? The belief that travel is expensive is based on our traditional views of it being a vacation, where you have your 2 weeks off and you splurge and you go somewhere. I don't look at traveling like a vacation. I look at it like I'm living somewhere different, which means I'm not paying double rent and paying for a car back home and so on. Yes, if you have a home and you have bills to pay, it's definitely going to be an extra expense to add travel on top of that. What you can look at doing is traveling instead of having all of those things. It's a trade-off and it's a bit of a sacrifice. It kind of sucks that when I go home, I have to rent a sublet apartment as opposed to having my own car waiting for me or a furnished place that I love. but it also means that while I'm away, I'm paying for my life in the country that I'm living in, which is often much cheaper than Canada, and I'm not paying for things that I'm not using back home. So if you do have a car, consider taking yourself off the insurance and putting it into storage. If you have a home, maybe try renting it out. Try to earn back that money and minimize your bills as much as possible, and then traveling is going to be much more accessible to you. I have a peanut allergy. Can I go to Thailand? I'm going to tell you exactly what I tell my brother and sister, which are both deathly allergic to peanuts. That sucks. Yes, peanuts and peanut sauce are used in many different Thai dishes. So you are going to need to be more careful. I really recommend you have your EpiPen with you at all times. And on the bright side, the hospitals in Thailand are generally very state-of-the-art and affordable, so you will have care if you need it. You can absolutely 100% go to Thailand and avoid any contamination with peanuts. What I'd recommend you do is you go to the food stalls. Most food stalls will serve only one dish. So you'll have one stall that's serving pad thai, one that's serving another type of stir fry, one that's serving mango sticky rice. If you go to one of the food stands that's going to be serving pad thai or papaya salad, mango salad, they often garnish these with peanuts. Instead, eat the street food from the vendor that is only serving kebabs or only serving a different type of stir fry. They make the food in front of you and you can see all of the ingredients that they're using. Please, please, please do not go to the pad thai stand and just ask them for no peanuts. They're going to be using the same spoon for everything, and that is not worth chancing. While I personally don't have a peanut allergy, I do have celiac disease, so I'm very aware of how you need to be cautious and the ways that you can work around food restrictions. With celiac, I can't have any barley, gluten, so wheat, bread, pasta, it's a lot of things. And I go specifically to the stands that aren't serving any of the things that I would react to. I find it much easier to eat in places in Southeast Asia or in South America because the food is a lot less processed than it is where I'm from in Canada or in the US. This means that when I go and I order, I'm getting meat, vegetable, rice. Simple ingredients. It's not like everything is thickened and processed with extra ingredients. My final recommendation on this point is to Google allergy card peanuts, allergy card, whatever you're allergic to, and the country that you're going to, and then print out an allergy card that's going to give instructions to the chef on what you can and can't have in the local language. Carry this with you or take a screenshot of it on your phone so you always have it and you can show your server before you order. Do you prefer to eat in or eat out while traveling? If I'm traveling quick from place to place or I'm on vacation and just exploring somewhere new, I'll definitely be eating out as much as possible. The more likely situation, if I'm going somewhere to live long term, I always get an apartment that's going to have a kitchen included, even if it means paying a little bit more. I find it less expensive with groceries, and then also with having celiac, it's much easier to cook for myself and not have to worry when I go out. I'll still go out for social occasions, which ends up being multiple times a week anyway. Eating out is just part of the culture in many Southeast Asian countries, and most foreigners that I know say that eating out is actually cheaper than buying your own groceries and cooking for yourself. This may be the case, but I find that a lot of that food, the cheap food that you're getting, is full of salt, sugar, and MSG. This is okay short term, but it's not going to help you or be any good for your body if you're staying there long term. And yes, there are many, many exceptions to this. Not all food is like that, but a lot of it is. And if you want something that's going to be healthy and made with quality meats, you often need to pay more for it anyway. Do you find contract work to be fulfilling? Yes, I do. Specifically because of what I'm doing and the clients that I'm working for. I'm only going to work with companies that I actually believe in myself. When I meet founders and I get to be a part of them growing their business and spreading the word of, say, a really cool new co-working retreat that's out there, that's exciting for me. If there's a brand that I believe in, I'm a natural brand ambassador for them anyway, so it kind of is a natural fit. And by doing it as a contract, you know what your target is at the beginning, you know what the timeline is, so you're able to complete the contract and then really see what measurable impact you had. So it is very fulfilling. You see the result of your hard work. I think at this point I've gotten to most of your questions. I'll go back through the comments here and on the Facebook page and answer any that I missed. Next week, I'll be answering one question that I got probably 11 times? Which is about my gorilla trekking experience in Uganda. I'll dive right in the details of what I did, what the trip was like, and how you can do it too. You're not going to want to miss this video. So definitely subscribe if you're not already. As always, happy travels. You're the best. Have a super week, and I will see you back here for that gorilla video next Tuesday. Bye.